Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Belinda here from Visualized NZ. Another Monday morning, and I'm happy to say I'm pretty much back to normal, which is so good, and hubby's gone back to work today, so hopefully I'm getting back into my regular schedule. Filming still a little bit later than I normally would, because one of our cats wanted cuddles. So what can you do? You've got to give your kids some attention time to time. So anyway, let's get into today's project. So in Thursday's video, this is New Zealand time, Thursday last week, I made this little booklet here. Just give a quick wee flick through in case you didn't see me making that. But if you wanted to see that, then pop along and watch the video. So this is for my journal Playful Days, which I'm working on. And I haven't done very much in, so I'm going to now make a pocket for this little booklet to go into. But it's not just any pocket, it's an idea I came up with. I don't know if it's going to work, so I may be bringing you along on a disaster. But there's only one way to find out, isn't there? And that's to give it a go. So I've chosen out a page in the journal that I want it to go on, so I'm thinking this page. It's got a printed pattern on the other side, and I've chosen out a sheet of paper from this scrapbook paper pad from Grace Taylor, and it's called Playtime, the paper pad. So I kept that out just to show you very quickly. Whoops, and it just fell over. And this is the sheet of paper that I've chosen out, and it's got little pirate ships all over it, and I thought that might work nicely, picking up the blue from this previous page here and from the grid on this math paper. And in this little booklet there is a pirate, there's a couple of mermaids, there's a mermaid there and a pirate, and then the others. Well, it avoids it being too matchy doesn't it? They don't all suit a sea theme, but I thought this is fun and I'm going to go with it. And somewhere, did I see? Ah, it's like a little Loch Ness pirate ship. I thought there was a Loch Ness type creature in the water, but it's not. It's the head of the ship. Okay, so let's grab out this page. And I need the page so I know what size I'm working to, because I've got limited real estate to try and bring my idea together. So I really hope this is going to work. So my page is from the center where the spine is to the outside is just a fraction under 5 3/4 inches, or 14.5 centimeters. So I need to really write this down so I don't forget. Here's a back of a notepad. So 14.5 centimeters, or what was it, 5 3/4 inches. I use whichever measurement is easiest to go by on any given thing, so quite often that works better in inches, but I'm just writing down both just so I know I can switch between them. And my little booklet is 4 and we'll say 3/4. It's just under 4 3/4, or 12 centimeters. So first I want to cut out, I do need to do the height as well. So my booklet is 17 by 6 5/8. Gosh, I just had to get my brain in gear there. Sorry about that. And then we've got 8 inches or 20.5 centimeters. Okay, just so I know what I'm working with. So I think this is going to be a little bit labor intensive, but I do think it is going to be worth it. I hope so anyway. So I'm going to work on the back of this paper so that it's not going to be seen. And I want to, let's think about this. So the height of my booklet is 6 5/8, so that's there. And the height of my page is 8. So I want it somewhere in between there. So I'm going to go I think 6 3/4 inches for the height. Okay, so just choosing a point in between the height of my booklet and the height of my page. Right, so I'm just going to rule in that first. So this is definitely not a tutorial because I'm just trying to figure this out as I go. Now I do want a bit of a gusset. Do I want? Yes, I do need one at the bottom. So I probably need to, actually I don't know how to describe it. I'm kind of doing a frame pocket. So the idea is, so you get an idea of where I'm heading. So this is my page. Can you see that in pencil? Maybe not. Maybe I need to use pen just so you can see it. So this is my page. You see that better? I hope you can see that. And I want to create a frame pocket that sits quite close up to the edge and comes in like a frame on 3 sides, so the bottom and the 2 sides, and that the booklet will sit in underneath. So does that make sense? Hopefully you can see that. So the booklet will sit down in under the frame, and then I'm going to do a tricky little thing at the top that will come down and tuck in under that frame to keep it in place. And then you take the flap out to get the book out. What I'm trying to achieve is something that's interactive. So now that I've decided that I need it at 6 3/4 high, I need to add that bottom frame piece in. So we need to, I'm thinking 8 inches. So if we take 1 1.25 for that bottom, is that going to be enough? Let's do it 8.5. Because I can always cut it down, but it's a lot harder to add to it, isn't it? So let's just do 8.5 to give me enough to work with, because where I put the glue is going to take up a little bit of space as well. So we want to make sure we leave enough for that. So yeah, this is not going to be simple. Once I've got it worked out, maybe it will be easier. But yeah, it's not simple at the moment. Right, so the width of my booklet is 4 3/4 inches. And my page is 6 5/8. So I'm going to, so this is the width of my page there. And the width of my booklet, 4 3/4. Is that right? 4 3/4. Yes, 4 3/4. Okay, so if I made my pocket because I don't want to take it right up to the spine because then that's going to catch, but I can go right out to the edge if I need to. So I might bring it in 1/2 inch, I think. So 6 1/8. 6 1/8. There. Okay. So hopefully that'll give me enough width to, yep, I think that'll be good. Okay. So once I've done this, and if you think it's worthwhile, I'm thinking maybe a little template might help for a standard size journal page for people to make them more easily than what I'm making of this. Actually, I'm going to cut this with my craft knife, just because I think I'm going to get it a bit straighter than if I cut with scissors. And I'm a bit cold this morning. We've got 6 or 7 I think, bits of firewood left, and that's it. And so I'm doing the tough it out today, so because I need to go out a bit later, so that'll get me out the house for a bit. And it's like, yep, just tough it out. My hands are a bit cold, my nails are turning a bit blue, but I'll be fine. Right, so there's our bit of paper that's going to be our pocket. Okay, so I allowed an inch, did I, for the height, or 1.5 inches? So, yep, 1.5 inches. Now I will have to be careful with my pencil lines because some of them will show, because it's not going to have a back on, so I could get pencil lines showing. So definitely don't do it in pen if you're wanting to try this, because then you'll have to paste, glue something over top to hide the lines you've drawn if you don't do them in pencil. Whereas with pencil, you can just rub them out. And don't do them heavy pencil either, because then it can still leave a mark or even a dent. So just a light pencil line. Right, so that's going to be, hang on, which way am I going? Oh, dilly. Okay. Right, I'm completely dilly. And forget what I said about lines, because it's wrong. Surprise, surprise. Gosh, this is really a bumbling video, isn't it? Right. So what I want to do is I want to create a frame. So I'm going to bring in the sides of my pocket over the edge of my, so maybe I'll go 1.5 in. Move that over 1.5 in. Is that? It's 1.5. And that's 1.5. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully this isn't boring for you guys watching me bumble along here trying to work this out. In a perfect world I would have done a test run, but where's the fun in that, and having it all worked out and perfect and ready to go when I can share the realities of what it's like to try and come up with something new. I think it's new. It's not something I've seen before, but it's not to say that it is new. Somebody may have done this before, but it's new to me. Oops, hope my head wasn't in the frame then. My head just lightly touched the camera because I've got it down quite low and quite far over. Right. So I am going to need to cut this down, but that's all right. So I'm going to go in with my scissors and cut out this rectangle. So going in hopefully from the top, yes, thank goodness, otherwise I would have had to start again because my ships would be upside down. And that wouldn't have been good. Okay, so if you've got directional paper, just be careful which direction you're cutting from. Hopefully you'll see the concept is actually reasonably simple. It's just my working out of how to achieve it that's a bit bumbly. Right. There we go, we've got that centre out. Now let's have a look on our page as how is that's fitting. So somehow I've got it too wide. What happened with my measurements? I have no idea. Okay. But our journal will still fit inside. So how much do we need to take off? I just don't know what happened there. So I need to take off about 3/4 of an inch. So 2 centimeters. So if I take a centimeter off each side, we should be about right. So let's try that. I honestly don't know how I mucked that up. Maybe I looked at the height measurement instead of the width measurement on my notes. Oh, fun and games on a Monday morning. So hopefully everyone had a good weekend. What did you get up to at the weekend? We kept a fairly quiet weekend. You know, hubby was still fighting the effects of the cold, and you know, even now I'm still not 100% clear, but I'm certainly well enough. You know, I'm functioning fine. Just every now and then a little frog in my throat or a drippy nose or something, but other than that I'm all good. And hubby's still got a bit of a cough, bit of that sort of raspy thing going on, but he's not too bad. He certainly didn't get it as bad as what I got it, fortunately, because he had most of last week off. So it's good to pack him off back to work, to leave me to resume my normal schedule. So yeah, so we had a fairly quiet weekend, but we did get out to a book sale on Saturday. The local Lions Club were having a book sale, and I didn't expect too much, to be honest. I thought, oh yeah, you know, we'll go along, see what's there, probably won't pick up much. Yeah, I was wrong. Very, very wrong. They had a ton of books there, and so much good material for journals, and I was just in seventh heaven, and I spent way more money than what I anticipated. Children's books were $1, other books were $2, and magazines were 20 cents. So I spent $30, would you believe? $30. But oh my gosh, so happy with what I got. And then hubby spent, what did he spend? He spent another $20 or $19, something like that. It's like $50. So I'm going to do a video flip through because it was just awesome. Really awesome. Right. I have a feeling that I could run into problems getting this little booklet in and out if I don't add gussets. So I haven't got enough paper. I'm just going to fold this in half and trim it manually just because I can't be bothered ruling. I haven't got enough paper here to fold them from the paper, so I'm going to add them separately. Yep, that looks good to me. I think they're about even height. Even though I folded it in half, you can't guarantee. Okay, so I'm going to use this bit of offcut that I've got, and I'm going to cut it into 3 strips and create gussets. So maybe this might be helpful if you're thinking, how do I add gussets after the fact. I did do a video on gusseted pockets last week that shows it, but this is, you know, a sort of step up from that, I guess. And this will just give me a bit more in that room in that pocket to slide my little booklet in. And I think if I don't do this, then I'm going to run into issues for sure. And that one I can probably leave that big, I think. Oh no, cut it down a bit, otherwise it's going to, or will it? No, it won't, because it's going to be folded in half. Gosh, sorry guys, I need to just sort my brain out. Hey, so now the tricky part is folding these in half. Now I might fold the blue into the middle so that the blue, if you see anything, you'll see the blue instead of the white. How's that for being a bit tricky? A bit thinking. I actually did engage my brain then. That's the trouble with a Monday morning, isn't it? Sort of getting back into the rhythm and swing of things. Right, so that's going to be a gusset on one side. And I do want to trim down these corners so that they don't show. So it was the same length as this, so I'm just going to bring it in just like 1 millimetre or 2 from the end so that it doesn't go right to the edge, and give it a little angled cut, and that will stop the top or the bottom from showing underneath. So once it's attached, you're not going to see anything sticking out the bottom or the top because it's slightly shorter. Okay, so let's put that one down. Just using my tacky glue. And I chose to use scrapbook paper for this project because I wanted the heavier weight rather than using coffee dyed paper or book page or something. But you certainly could, and you just might want to double up your layers if you're using something that's not very strong. But I just wanted, you know, I had enough to grapple with. I just wanted to be relatively simple without adding complication to my life at this point, because I'm, you know, making life complicated enough for myself. With trying to do this. So there we go. So our little gusset there, if we do see it, we'll see a bit of the pattern from the front, which I think's a cute idea. Right, so again for the other side. And it doesn't have to be completely in half, you know, it's inside your pocket, so it's most likely not going to be very evident. But yeah, I just try and get it as straight as possible. Whoops, cutting from the fold is a good idea, so you get your angle going the right way and going towards the center as opposed towards the outside. Right, so let's pop this one on as well. And I think adding these gussets will also give it a better finish. It will look sort of, yeah, it'll just look better, I think, than if I didn't use gussets. Right, so there we go. We've got our 2 side gussets. Now to do the bottom, and we don't need all that width. I'm just going to, that line is the same width as my frame, so I'm just going to bring it in a little, just a little bit, 2 or 3 millimeters. So we've almost used up that whole bit that we cut off, or that I cut out of the center. So that's good. Right, and again I'm going to angle these, or do I need to angle these? No, I don't need to angle these. So this, what I want to do is I want to glue it to the front here, to the front part, but I want to glue it to the top. Which way do I want to do it? Yeah, I want to glue these gussets in between. Can you see what I mean there? So I want these gussets to sit. Oh boy, my brain. Yes, right. So I'm going to start by gluing it to the front, and then I can fiddle with the side bits. I didn't check whether it's going to be up the right way, but it's all right. It's a little piece. It's not going to matter too much. Oh, and it's sideways anyway, so it won't matter. Right. I'm going to sit that there. Right, just give those a bit of a crease down. And this one as well. Let's give it a nice crisp edge there. Right, so I want to glue this part of the bottom gusset to the back of this gusset. And the reason for that is so that when something slides inside, it'll slide down between those gussets and into there. So if I did it over top, it might more easily catch. So I just want to do them this way round. If you do it the other way, I mean, it's fine. It'll work. Just might catch a little bit is all. Now hopefully I haven't got glue inside here, because that will also stop things going down into the bottom. Okay, so let's to scooch over a little bit, making sure it sits flat, because it wasn't sitting flat, but it is now. Okay, give that a moment to dry. While it's drying, I will distress it. Distressing is something in particular I'm doing with this journal, and you would have noticed that the pages are still loose. They're not in a cover yet, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is I haven't actually decided what I want for a cover. Sorry, I think I was off camera then. So until I do, I don't have a cover to put it into. So I have yet to work out exactly whether I want fabric or whether I want card. I'm sort of thinking fabric, but yeah, with just everything that's been going on, I just haven't been able to sort anything out. So that's one reason. The other reason is I want to distress around all the pages, and that's way easier to do before it goes into a cover. So I've kind of just haven't got round to it. So I need to do that, and that might encourage me to then get a cover sorted, so that I can bind it and then, you know, have it all together and work on it. There's certain things I like to do before a journal gets bound in and sewn into its journal cover, and there's certain things I like to do after. Right, so giving that a bit of a distress around the edge. So, and this is going to be distressed as well, which I haven't got round to. So I'm just going to check that that sits in there like so. Oh, look, that's cute. I like that. Right. Oh, I think that's going to be cute as. Very cute. Okay. And I thought that the bit at the top is going to be more complicated. Well, we shall see which ends up being more complicated. So now I'm going to glue this down to the page. So I'm going to put glue right up to the edge of that gusset, you know, well close to, just to, you know, help it stop catching the booklet when it gets slid into the pocket. Right. Just put it a bit closer to the edge of the page than the spine, just so it doesn't bulk up that spine area too much or get caught in when I'm sewing signature in. I've just got little sponge crumbs appearing. Doesn't take long before those sponges start leaving crumbs everywhere. I think that's super cute. And then just needs a little help at the bottom just to slide that in. And it is catching a little bit at the bottom, but that's okay. It doesn't matter if it pokes out a little bit at the top. And I'm kind of wondering whether I need to do anything at the top to hold it in, because it fits in quite well as it is. So I don't think I need to, which is a shame because I wanted to, but because it's catching a little bit, it's not going all the way to the bottom. I wonder if I can get, oops. There, yeah, so put a ruler in and it just lifts it off from catching on the bottom. Yeah, I'm still going to do my idea because I think it's cool and it's different. So let's just do it. Okay, so now to work out the next bit. So I need it long enough to tuck into the bottom and long enough to attach at the top. And do I want 1 or 2? I think I'll just go for 1 because I think, you know, perhaps make my life a little bit simpler. And I want it in to be able to fold it in 3, so I want it good width. So how tall did I want it? So let's go about there. So for those of you who like simple projects that you don't have to worry, you know, think about too much, this might not be the project for you. And I do like simple projects as well, but then sometimes I like to really just get into that creative mode and think, how can I do something that's different? And you know, and sometimes, or quite often, that requires a bit of brain energy. And it doesn't always go well, but that's okay. It's just part of playing. I should grab you out what I was playing with yesterday that kind of didn't turn out how I anticipated, but I think there's still merit in the idea. I was just playing with scraps that were left over, so I wasn't worried that if it didn't turn out, because it was just waste book page. Little scraps of book page, but it's like I'm annoyed in the fact that I think the idea has some merit, that, you know, it could turn into something, but I couldn't just quite get it to where I wanted it. Right, so I'm just folding it lengthways into 3, and overlapping the back. And this is just to give it some strength, because it's going to be used multiple times, opening and shutting, to access the booklet in the pocket. So folding it into 3 just makes it nice and sturdy, and then once it's glued, the layer of glue is going to add extra sturdiness. So that's going to attach at the top here, and then it's going to tuck in underneath like so. So when you want to take the booklet out, lift that out, fold this back, so it needs to probably have a crease up here, and you can pull the booklet out and then tuck it away and close the pocket back up. Just a different way, sort of a more interactive way of doing a pocket, like so. So these are popping up a little bit, but I think that's just because the booklet's so thick, because it's 3 pages folded in half, so it's 6 pages, making a total writing area of 12 pages. So I think that's just the size of the booklet that's doing that. And once it's in a journal, it's going to hold those down. So yeah. Right, so let's glue this for a start. That's our first port of call. So I might put glue in just a little bit in under that as well, just for good measure. And on the edges of the 2 bits that are getting folded together. Right, let's grab a tissue to wipe up my glue spillage. There we go, and already I can feel that's made it nice and stiff. Right, I like to do a shaped bottom on here, so you can round it, you could add a point. I think I'm just going to add a shallow, like a tag point, I guess. So I'm just going to cut off one corner and then flip it round and cut the other corner to match. It's a little bit fiddly because it's such a tiny wee segment. It may not be perfectly the same, but good enough. Okay, now just going to go back in there with a little bit of glue because it's coming, just to make sure those bits don't open up. So there we go, stick that down. Right, give this some inky love. Now I'm not quite sure what I want to do at the top yet, so this gives me a little bit of thinking time, which I'm using talking, so yeah. We'll work it out, don't worry, we'll work it out. So we will see the back of this, so I'm going to do the back as well. There we go. Just brush off those crumbs. Put some of my supplies away, they seem to be crowding me. Need more room. Right. So that will tuck in under there. So we want it about middle. I'm just going to eyeball it. I was going to measure it for middle there a little, and I was like, no, let's just eyeball it. So about there. I'm thinking maybe something on top of that. I don't know if I've got anything like a little flower or something. I might actually put it up a bit higher. Do I want to put it right to the top? There's no reason why I couldn't put it right to the top. That might help me keep it straight. And then there's still enough, yep, still enough real estate to completely go into the bottom of the frame. So let's put some glue on this. And I'm gluing about 1/2 inch or so, just to make sure it doesn't rip off the page. So it's got a good amount of coverage there to hold it in place. Now the next trick will be to make sure that it will actually come out of the pocket with this in place. So it could all turn to custard yet. Stay tuned. Oh, I need a drink of my coffee. That's what I need. So I just want to give that a good moment to dry before I start fiddling with it too much. So while that's drying, I'm just going to whip around and get this page inked, because then it will be one that's done. So do I want to do the middle? It's going to be sewn, so it's probably not a lot of point in doing the center of the spine. I kind of want to, but it's like, well, what's the point? Bits of it might be saying no. Should I do it? Should I not? I kind of feel like it's not finished unless I do the middle. So, you know, let's do the middle. Okay, if it's not seen, it's fine. You know, it won't matter. But if it is, if we do see bits of the middle, then it's not naked, is it? It matches the rest. So I think, in all honesty, it's probably better off to do it. You know, it's using a little bit of ink, but that's what it's there for, isn't it? To be used. So let's just do it. And do the other side while we're at it. And then I've got one less one that I need to attend to. Oops. I don't worry if I get like ink splotches where the page is sort of moved on me or something. I mean, that just adds to the look. Right. There. So it's inked. Okay. So, right, as I thought, if we don't crease it, then it's, see how that's forcing the page? So we need to crease this, and maybe I should have done that before I glued it down, maybe, but you know, I'm working this out as I go. So it's, here we go. Give that a good crease, just to so you may wonder why I'm doing this on top, just so it doesn't, I don't know, I just think that's worthwhile doing. Okay, so we can pull our booklet out, yay, and we can put our booklet in. And okay, so whoever buys this journal will have to use a ruler to get it right down in the bottom, or a pen or something, and then we tuck it away under. So you could add something onto this. You could put a little die cut. I'm thinking about maybe some gemstones or something like that. Do I have anything available? I do have some adhesive gemstones. Not your acrylic gemstones. The stickers, the ones I've got here, which my lovely friend Lydia sent to me. And I'm wondering, oops, whether these might. So they're called crystal stickers. That's what they're called, and they're in the shape of gemstones. So a little bit flatter than your acrylic gems that you stick on. Oops, getting all stuck up with the self-sealing package there. So do we want some little gemstones or something on there? one's too wide. What colour? I'm thinking the yellow might be quite nice. It sort of stands out a bit more. So yeah, let's do this. I'm just going to add a little bit of tacky glue to the back of it. They are very sticky, but just to make sure, because I don't want someone's journal to be falling apart. That wouldn't be good. So just a little bit of insurance that it was going to last a long time. So there we go, just a little gemstone there, and then maybe this smaller version at the top. There we go. There we go. There we've got our cute little booklet tucked away in a different sort of pocket that is more interactive. So hopefully that stays put. I can check back once it's all completely dry and just make sure that it's going to stay in place. But there we go. I hope you like this idea. If you're interested in some sort of template, then I could probably make up something like that. Because I think that's cute and different, unique, and really excited to have that in this journal. So thanks for joining me today, everybody, and I'll see you back tomorrow for Trash Craft Tuesday. Okay, until then, take care. Bye.